she wasn't supposed to be in that hotel. It was like, and I wasn't supposed to be in the hotel. A bunch of things had to happen in order for us to both be in that elevator at that time. And like, that's the way the universe works sometimes.
Although I will say the universe,
so fun.
The universe probably knew that you were going to switch hotels just from past experience. You're a hotel switcher.
You know what, Caissie? It took everything in my power not to switch hotel rooms once I got to the new hotel. But I did think, I didn't. I stayed in the room, which is, I think, progress for me.
Hello.
Wait, what's happening?
I don't know. What's happening?
Wait, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Oh, it said for a second that I was muted.
Oh, no, you're not at all. I think sometimes these things just say whatever.
Don't we all?
Like, I think increasingly I've noticed that technology is does the same thing as your mom when she calls you the wrong name or whatever. I think technology has little brain farts that we should. I know we're not supposed to think of technology as being human, and it's not. But sometimes there's just little glitches that I'm it's overwhelmed. Zoom is overwhelmed right now. And
she's overwhelmed. Like everybody else.
That you were muted when it really meant to say you're not muted.
Yeah. Speak freely. You're doing great.
My friend Lily posted something she was talking about lasagna, what's the definition of lasagna on Facebook. She made a post and she was saying does it have to be lasagna noodles? And she said, can I make it with other pasta and all the elements of lasagna and basically make a lasagna casserole, but just not lasagna noodles? And
that feels right to me.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels normal. And I said, yeah, I call that loose lasagna. If you know. And then she commented, are you slut shaming my lasagna dish? And then I was like, LOL. And then she was like, did Facebook just remove my comment from my own post saying slut shaming? And it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And so then I was like, oh my God. And then she was like, kind of freaked out. And she was like, why did Facebook take my own comment, my own joke off of my own post? And then I was like, then by the time she commented that, I was like, I can see it again. It's reposted. And I just was like, I don't know. The HAL, whatever entity in the sky, saw the word slut, panicked, immediately ripped it off your post, and then was like, I don't know, passed it to his AI boss. And then that person, that non-person was like, oh, I think this is a human joke about lasagna. I think it's a pun and it's safe to put it back. Let's put it back. Anyway, that's what I think's going on with computers.
Or just a glitch.
Just a glitch.
Or they're just glitching. Everything's just a glitch.
Just a glitch. Who knows?
It's just a glitch.
How are you? You've had a busy weekend.
I did. I had a really, really busy, travel-filled, jet lag-y weekend and fun. But yeah. I have to say, on the heels of everything? Sure. Everything.
Sure.
It was it is, traveling is a lot. It's always been a lot, I think. But traveling and then performing, because I did the Q&A I flew to Arizona Thursday morning. I did this thing with the high school theater students first in the afternoon. Well, I saw my parents for lunch first. So there's the performance begins.
Oh, nice.
And then I did the class with the high school students, and then I did the Q&A with Georgia Hunter about We Were the Lucky Ones for the Arizona Holocaust Association in honor of Holocaust Remembrance Day, which was this week, Monday.
Yeah.
And then the next day flew to San Francisco and kind of had like a little bit of a breakdown in San Francisco when I got to San Francisco. But it was in part because Emily was originally going to come with me. So I was like by myself and I really hadn't like planned anything other than the shows I was in. So I like, didn't make plans with any of my friends who I knew were going to be there to like get food or see them even, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got there and they had put me in a hotel that like everybody was just staying at the same hotel, which I think if Emily had been with me would have just been like totally chill. But because I was kind of by myself, it felt really depressing and the bed was like really, really uncomfortable when I sat down on it.
Yeah.
And then I was really PMSing and then I was crying a lot. And our friend Ben texted and was like, come to this improv show that all our friends are in. And I was like, I would, but I just started weeping. And he said, that's fair. And then I was like, why don't I just go to another hotel that's going to make me feel more comfortable, that has a bathtub that I would take a bath in?
Yeah.
I can do that for myself.
Yeah.
But I forgot that I could, but then I remembered.
Yeah.
And then I booked it over there and had like a bath, a burger, and a martini and was like, okay, I feel better. And I went and did this show with Paul F. Tompkins, our friend, How We Know Each Other. There should be a word for that. Like our patron saint. Like our friendship patron.
He is
the patron of our friendship.
He is my patron saint in so many ways. But
I know.
Yeah, I know. He's like, well, he's a connector. That's what I always say about him.
I know, but I'm saying like there should be a term for the person that introduces to friends. Like when you're talking about like, oh, well, if you're talking to somebody else and you're like, oh, and then I saw our friend Paul. Paul is Caissie and my blank.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. He should be here for this conversation because I'm sure he'd have a really good word for it.
He should. He would. I bet he does. Somebody must.
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to text him right now and ask him and see if he responds by the time we finish doing.
Hop on, Paul. Hop on.
I don't know if he'll be able to do that, but I'm going to ask him if he has a word.
Well, here's the thing about that show, the Tinder Live with Lane Moore. I did not know what it was.
Lane Moore is a very good friend of mine.
Is she? Oh, is she really? She didn't mention that. That's so weird.
I don't know. I mean, like, we don't hang out every day, but she has
she lives in New York. Yeah.
She stayed at my house in Canada many times. And yeah, we're pals.
Well, maybe she was preoccupied because she's also friends with our friend Stacey London.
Oh,
and Stacey was like, oh, good, you're going to see Busy. Bring her this book, which is like, we all live in New York. And it didn't occur to Lane until she got to San Francisco that she had brought a book across the country to give to me that I then had to take back across the country.
That's so
And she's
funny.
like, why did I do this? And I was like, I don't know, but I kind of think it's hilarious. Anyway, I didn't really know Lane. Paul and I both didn't know the show. And we had only agreed to do it because the other person was doing it, Paul and I, and like we like doing shows together.
Right.
And it was so much fun and so insane. So if you don't know what the show is, it was the 10th anniversary show, which was so fun. But essentially, Lane has a Tinder account, and it's a pretty ridiculous Tinder account. And she goes through on a screen behind her. It's like the phone is hooked up to a screen in real time, and she goes through the guys who are being presented to her.
Right.
And then, she kind of riffs on them depending. Some of them, I mean, like, it was like, she has like a shorthand. So if it's like, just like a guy, she's like, oh, this is just a guy.
Right.
This is just a guy. This is fine.
Right.
We just move on.
Right.
But the people that she really swipes right on are the ridiculous ones.
Right.
And then if it's a match, she starts in real time a conversation with them on the screen and sees if they respond. And it is so crazy and wild. And we were laughing so hard. And it was fun.
It was super
really
fun show. I'm so happy. I can't believe it's been 10 years. I've also done the show. I did it with this guy. Do you know this guy, Hari Kondablu? He's a comedian.
Yeah, I do, actually.
That's mostly who I remember from the show that I did. But yeah, it was super funny and just like the most unhinged guys replying to her that night.
So unhinged. And I was laughing pretty hard. I also had had that martini before I left the house. And then they brought me I was like, oh, do you guys have any rosé? Because it's at a bar, it's at a comedy club.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any rosé? They brought me like a giant tumbler of it wasn't a wine glass. It was like a tumbler of rosé, which,
they're like, we have rosé. We just don't have wine glasses for some reason.
I don't know if maybe they were afraid I would spill it on stage or something. I don't know. But I had this big carafe essentially that I was drinking out of rosé. So by the time the show was over, I was a little whoa. But it was really fun and funny. And then I went to the after party for a bit and saw a bunch of friends, Mark Gagliardi, Mark Evan Jackson, Hal Lubin, and Alex Edelman. And I met some other people who were performing. I met this girl who worked on My Mythical Morning and now has her own podcast. And she was really nice. And I don't know. It was just
nice.
Yeah, it was just kind of fun hanging out. And then I went home and went to bed. I woke up the next morning and had regretted the rosé. And I had to do our rehearsal for the Thrilling Adventure Hour shows.
Yeah.
And that was super fun. And then we all had lunch, or some of us had lunch together in Japantown. Oh, and I did a little shopping for Cricket to bring some stuff back for her,
Oh, nice. Nice.
Some anime stuff. And then we did our Thrilling Adventure Hour shows, which were really, really, always fun, really successful. And I love being with those guys. And if you aren't familiar with the Thrilling Adventure Hour, it's available as a podcast. It's definitely an interesting show. If people are obsessed with it, when they love it, they love it. If you don't get it, it's not for you, no worries. But we are doing some shows this year. We're going to Chicago. There are shows in LA, depending on our busy this week schedule. I'll be in the LA shows, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I think I will be able to make Chicago. And then in the fall, we're doing New York and then London, which will be fun.
Amazing.
So yeah, there's tickets. If you go on Thrilling Adventure Hour, you can on the Instagram, there's links and you can get tickets. And it was just a really fun time. Although Paget wasn't there, which was really a bummer for me because I love Beyond Belief. And more than that, I love Paget.
She's so funny. And her fans are Paget Brewster. Her fans are so loyal and they really, it's very
Well, that's what happens when you're on a procedural.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 40 million people watch you every week for 15 years.
Yeah. And she's so great and she's so funny. So it's just, it's so interesting to see her do this Beyond Belief. She and our friend Paul, who we were just talking about, it's they're a thin man kind of Nick and Nora, old-timey couple who likes to drink, wealthy, upper crust, live in a high-rise in Manhattan. That's the characters that they are, but they're also paranormal.
Right. They solve paranormal
mysteries.
Activities.
Yeah,
mysteries.
yeah. And so it's just so funny. So it's so amazing to watch Paget's performance, like her. Oh my gosh,
The voice is so good.
The voice is so good, and she's so funny. Paul's so funny, and to watch it live, and like I love when something goes wrong. I hate to admit, I'm sure this makes Ben and Ben, the guys who like create the show and run the show, I'm sure it makes them nuts. But when something goes wrong, it's so funny because just the way that they handle it is like they're amazing. They're amazing. But anyway, I love all those guys.
Yeah, it's really fun, and we love the show, and we've been doing it so many years now. I mean,
yeah,
boy, it's been a long time, but it was good. And like, I saw our friend Josh Gondelman was there.
Oh, nice.
Not for Thrilling Adventure Hour, but
for
I
other
saw
things.
him for other things.
It was Sketchfest.
Yeah, and it was nice, and it was also, you know, at the end of last week, which was really, really tough. Really tough week in the world, and really hard to like even think about what I'm going to go be funny, and what am I doing? Like, what's happening? What are we doing?
Right.
It did feel really good to like be with a lot of people who were feeling the same way. And we're also just grateful, happy to be there and have a little release and a little fun times. And then the craziest thing happened, which was in between the rehearsal and my first show. I was back in the hotel I switched into, and I like went down to see if they had a steam room, and they kind of did, but it was not what I wanted in my life.
Yeah.
And I was in the elevator going back up to my room, and the elevator door opened, and it was Shelley from Pandemic of Love, the woman who started that organization, Pandemic of Love, who I've supported since since she sort of, well, I guess it sort of became known during the pandemic, right? That's when she launched it, and it's a mutual aid organization that connects people with other people who can help them, you know? Yeah. And sometimes if you aren't familiar with Pandemic of Love, you can look them up. But they have so many different iterations in every city. I think it might be like worldwide now. I know they've partnered with Global Empowerment Mission. I know that they've just done so much incredible work in the last 5 years. But very early on in the pandemic, she had reached out. She came across my feed somehow, and I started following her, and then she reached out, and I started, posting some of the asks and some of the things that people were looking for.
Yeah.
And we've just like stayed in contact for, these last 5 years. And she even now has this other sort of philanthropic / socially conscious side to her life, which is a production company that is funding, that she's gotten, sort of like philanthropic backing. And they're funding like socially conscious and, content, truly like TV shows, documentaries, shorts, that are putting, sort of like good things into the world.
That's very cool.
It is very cool, especially because you and I both know, especially in the like reality space or documentary space, like sometimes those things aren't the things that like sell, because they kind of go for like the more salacious, like for instance, I don't know, people like murdering other people.
Right. I mean, listen, can all be summed up for me and I'll preface this by saying I did not watch the show, but there's a show that is very prominently displayed on Netflix in the like, it's the number one show for today, blah, blah, blah. It's called Later Daters, and it's about, obviously, I think, inspired by the success of Golden Bachelor. So it's like senior citizens dating. But the executive producer is Michelle Obama.
Right.
And so I'm like, even Michelle Obama has to make like a Golden Bachelor inspired show to get it on TV. I'm sure
it's tough out there.
I'm sure she has 99 projects that are about like underserved communities and like what we need to do to like pull each other up. But the one that I saw was Later Daters. I didn't watch it. It could be like super heartwarming and super high quality. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
By the way, I'm sure both, I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
But it speaks to the sort of greater point that you kind of have to, in order to even sell things to the network, no matter who you are, you kind of have to have like a hook. You know what I mean? And sometimes the things that are putting, content into the world with the idea of not being salacious and just sort of like maybe trying to show a different way or a different side or isn't the thing that hooks or that a network is necessarily like, yes, let's put our money there.
Right.
Because they want to guarantee their return in a big way. Right. Like,
exactly.
I guess.
Exactly. Which is, it's wild. It's like these people are quote unquote experts. And so they know their business but also you can't know the business. So I always
that's
try to
the thing. You and I always talk about this too. And I feel like we've said this on this podcast before, which is like, you don't know that something's going to resonate until it resonates. And then once it does, then everybody's like, wait, now we need that.
Yeah. What's the next Golden Bachelor?
Right.
And you're like,
and it's like, well, also, could we just try this thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And they no, they don't want to. They don't want to try anything new, but occasionally something will break through because let's say Michelle Obama is the executive producer.
Right.
But even to your point, that's like essentially just like, anyway, regardless. The point is stuff out there. Stuff out there. And I love that Shelley has this, it's called Partners in Kind. And she was just telling me about some of the projects they're doing. And I just feel like I don't know. I just was like very into it. But also what was so crazy is that she reached out to me right before the new year and like was wishing me a happy new year and said, I'm really so grateful for all the support you've always given me over the years. Because even when she was starting this new venture a couple years ago, she reached out to me and was like, do you have any ideas of people I should be in touch with for this? Like, she's like, it's basically just an idea. I don't have any funding and I don't have any, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I was like, well, welcome to our hell. I don't know where you're going to find funding, which by the way, she did. She found like a partner who, has a bunch of money and wanted to invest like in this mission, which is so cool. But I introduced her to a couple people. I think did I put you in touch with her at all? I don't remember if I did.
I mean, we've always followed each other on social media, so I don't.
But specific to that thing, no,
I don't. I
know. I like introduced her to Carrie Bialik and one other person, and Carrie had a couple really good ideas for her that like led to some good things.
Nice.
So anyway, so she just was had sent me this message around New Year's, wishing me a happy new year and saying, one of my goals for this year is to meet you in person and give you a hug.
Aww.
And so like when the elevator opened, I was like, are you kidding me? What? Yes. It was just like so cool and wild. And by the way, mission accomplished, 70th week of January. We did it.
Right.
And
oh my God.
But like she wasn't supposed to even be in San Francisco and she wasn't And then when she wasn't supposed to be in that hotel. It was like, and I wasn't supposed to be in the hotel. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things where a bunch of things had to happen in order for us to both be in that elevator at that time. And it did. And like, that's the way the universe works sometimes, you know?
Right. Although I will say the universe,
so fun.
The universe probably knew that you were going to switch hotels just from past experience. You're a hotel switcher.
You know what, Caissie? You know what, Caissie? It took everything in my power not to switch hotel rooms once I got to the new hotel. But I did think, I didn't. I stayed in the room, which is, I think, progress for me.
Yeah. I say this only, and this is for me to discuss with my therapist, is that I'm like, oh, the poor first hotel probably feels bad and they should just know that she never stays in the first hotel. And that I'm like, I'm personifying a hotel as if it has feelings, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter to the hotel.
I generally don't switch. I would say I generally don't switch hotels. I almost always switch rooms. Almost always. I have been known in recent years to switch hotels. Yes.
Here's what I will say. Yes. I was going to say, I have known you to switch many hotels, but anytime that you and I have stayed in a hotel together, you've never switched out of the hotel and away from the hotel that I was staying at. So like, that's
a courtesy.
I don't know if you wanted to and you held back, or if it just was like,
well, no, but I'm switching hotels is a bigger deal. Switching rooms is definitely something that I do a lot. That everybody knows that I do. I mean,
listen, do it if you can, because I've tried to switch rooms like 2 times in my life, and both times they've been like, there's zero hotel. Like, you're not allowed. We're never switching your hotel room. The only time I was excited because like the hotel switched my room and they switched it to like a much nicer suite in Las Vegas. And on first examination, it seemed very exciting, but then eventually I realized that the room was disgusting. And I wish I could have switched, but
wait, really? Why?
Yeah. It's like Las Vegas. So it was it just
gross.
Was gross, and like, you know. And you know what it was? Again, this is like probably my OCD talking, and probably a thing that like I didn't even know that I had OCD at the time. But the room had a round bed, which at first I was like, yay, round bed. That's exciting, you know? And then I was like, people don't get a room with a round bed to not like really use it, you know? And then I was like, I was grossed out
by— What does the shape have to do with it? And by the way, that's every hotel room, every bedroom.
100%. But I was like, particularly
you don't need to be
around.
reminded. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But why is I don't understand why.
Because it's like more exciting to have sex on a round bed because it's a novelty, and it's like the kind of thing you've always seen on TV your whole life, and but you've probably never really gotten the opportunity to sleep in one, and so you're gonna tear it up, you know? I don't know, but that's what I thought of the whole time, that I was like in this like velvet covered round disgusting bed, you know?
All right, Goodles.
Love it.
Oh my
Goodles
God, I love Goodles.
Is so good.
Well, you know what I love?
What?
It's cold outside. It's cold.
Right.
And when I'm cold, here's what I want to eat. Just comfort food. Just warm, hot, creamy, cheesy noodles.
Yeah. Mac and cheese.
And I will say that Goodles is the best because they reinvented literally my favorite comfort food to be preposterously delicious and nutrient packed with protein, which is like always the thing for me because I'm like, I know I need protein.
Right.
But they also put in prebiotic fiber and vitamins and minerals from plant sources. So, you know, it's a little bit like a better for you mac and cheese. I also a little bit trick my children with it. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, I mean, you don't even have to trick anyone because it tastes exactly as good as The old
Oh.
mac and cheese.
The taste is so good that they don't think it's good for you.
Here's what I love is there are so many flavors that like it's impossible to get bored. Like there's classic mac and cheese, but there's also like cacio e pepe. The hatch chili is delicious. I love the truffle. My family, we just lose the thread on side dishes. So I love that Goodles is always there. And not only is adding a side dish to whatever protein that I'm putting on the table, but also like some added nutrition. It's great stuff.
Well, yeah, 14 grams of protein.
Amazing.
Guys, 7 grams of fiber with those prebiotics, 21 vitamins and minerals from real plant sources. It's a low glycemic index food, which means that you get the carbs, but you're getting like a steady energy and no crash.
Right.
And it is kosher and clean label, purity award certified. Hooray. Guys, you've got to try Goodles mac and cheese. And don't forget, they've got just like nutrient packed pasta as well. Pick up some while you're out shopping. Goodles is available nationwide at major grocery stores and Target and Walmart. We know that you're going to love Goodles as much as we do. I love Goodles. Plus, the packaging is cute. We love you, Goodles. Caissie, did you know that your liver is the second largest organ in your body? What? Is that true?
I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Huh.
Is the first your skin?
Probably your skin.
Right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
But your liver is responsible for over 500 functions in your body. But for some reason, liver health, I don't know. People are like, whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty important, and we play fast and loose with our livers a lot.
People don't even think about their poor little livers. Over 30% of Americans have something called a sluggish liver.
Oh, God. I'm sure I have that.
I'm pretty sure you probably do. But I'm just telling you because, over 30% of Americans.
Oh, my God.
Well, Dose are amazing new sponsors of the podcast. Dose is on a mission to educate people, all of us, on why it's important to maintain your liver health. It is important. It's super important to maintain your liver health.
Yeah.
And they've created an incredible product to help us all do just that. It's a natural way to promote and maintain your liver health. It is clinically supported, potent, and effective. And guys, we're going to share it with you. Your liver is your body's filter. It flushes out unwanted elements. It breaks down what you consume into essential nutrients. It produces and regulates cholesterol. It stores vitamins and minerals. It impacts digestion and metabolic health, among many other things. And Dose is a science-backed formula that promotes liver function, aids digestion, eases bloating, and boosts energy levels. It's like a shot that you take. It tastes good.
I just started using Dose, and I think tastes good is an understatement. Like, this is a beverage that I would drink just for the taste alone. It tastes like sunshine. It tastes like a lemon lollipop. I don't know. It's very delicious. And you are only supposed to drink a small amount, and I really, really just wanted to drink more.
I mean, yeah, you just take a dose, but the good news is you can do it every day.
Exactly.
And you should, because if you stick with it, the benefits really happen over time. More energy, better digestion, reduced bloating, and healthier liver enzyme function. Plus, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and vegan. You guys, one dose for your liver is equivalent to like 17 shots of turmeric.
That's gosh.
It's a lot.
That's amazing. And I'm like a big science lover girl, as we were talking about, and clinical results in a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial. That's legit. Dose for your liver lowered liver enzyme levels by 50% in over 86% of participants. That's a really big deal.
Yes, that is a big deal. It's a big deal. Well, you guys try it out. See how you feel. Save 30% on your first month of subscription by going to dosedaily.co/best or entering code BEST at checkout. That's DOSEDAILY.co/best. DAILY.co/best for 30% off your first month subscription. Oh boy.
What's happening?
Oh God. I haven't seen it. I didn't see this yet. Oh God. Birdie just texted me that the Idaho House calls on the U.S. Supreme Court to reverse equal marriage ruling.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I didn't see it. This is fucking insane. Well, in other news that's positive, I did sit down with Governor Gretchen Whitmer last night for a Q&A at the 92nd Street Y. Because this is fucking insane. But they're calling on the Idaho Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Which
could have happened anyway.
Right.
It's just they're in a better position to get their wish come true now.
But how does it get kicked up to the Supreme Court? Like the actual Supreme Court, right? Isn't it? Is that what am I reading this right? The Supreme Court. Okay, I know. Okay. Because don't states have their own Supreme Courts as well?
Yes, state Supreme Court. Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out if this is like the Idaho. I don't understand. I mean, look, guys. And
it's always been a state's issue, until it was not. Right.
Oberfell.
Right. And so now it seems like we're trying to, like many things, it seems like they're trying to make things that were states' issues again, so that they can then be, denied to people.
Well, yeah, this is all fucking bullshit. The one thing I would say, like having run into Shelley, which was kind of good in that moment for me.
Yeah.
Because this has been really rough and there's been plenty of people posting essentially very similar sentiments, which is like, so in this time, like you can shut off the things you need to shut off until, if you need to.
Yeah.
And then you can double down and commit and like show up in the places that you can and know you can help and make a difference.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like what we all are gonna have to keep doing,
right.
and and figuring out like legitimate news sources that make sense.
Right.
Really. Oh, and I, in my talk with Governor Whitmer last night, Gretch, God, she's the best. Big Gretch, she's just the best. But, she was saying the same thing. Like, like we always say, do your own research.
Right.
Find trusted and reliable news sources, with the understanding that even places that maybe you thought were trusted before might not be right anymore.
Right.
And then show up where you can and when you can and do your fucking best.
Yeah.
To protect and to help those who are in a more vulnerable position than you.
And by the way, I want to say, like, that's one thing that is not different than where we were prior to the election. Like, as much as we were in better shape, there was still widespread danger and widespread need among American people, even though it was, quote unquote, our team that was in the White House and like held a branch of government. Are we in more dire shape now? Yes. But that's something that like people have been doing that all along. And so now we'll continue to do that. And I really encourage people who haven't been doing that to do that.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, I think that the truth is many people have been, but a lot of people have not been.
Right. Just like when we talk about like, well, one of the ways this election was lost was not by one person getting more or less votes than the other. It was by people not showing up and not making any choice at all. And now choices will be made for all of us as a result, like not making a choice.
Been made.
Yeah. Not making a choice is making a choice.
Well, and so that's correct.
And so you made that choice for yourself and not you, the royal you. I know you all listening didn't, but I'm just talking about, it's a softer way to say fuck around and find out, which I know people love to say, but I don't think. Listen, I don't relish the suffering of anyone, really, even someone that, I don't know. I know people think that people deserve to suffer, but I think that's kind of like how we got here is people thinking that like we all deserve to suffer. And I don't want to be that kind of person, and I don't want to put that out in the world. So what I'm saying is, your decision to not make a choice or your failure to make a choice, and failure is a hard word, but so I'm saying your choice to not make a choice was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've made that choice for yourself, and you made that choice for everyone else in your community. And so now we have to live with the consequences of that, all of us collectively. And even people who made a decisive choice, even people who came out and voted for something that they thought was like the best thing, they're also going to have to live with those consequences. And so we need community now more than ever. And so it is a time, I think, for people to start choosing, like actually directly choosing something rather than passively allowing choices to be made for themselves, Like I just think people will feel a lot better. And I think people will know their neighbors a lot better. And I think people will feel more confident and more accomplished and more autonomous and like they have some power and some control over their lives, because that's the gag, right? To make everybody feel like we have no power and we have no control. When in fact, like we do. We do have some power.
Yeah, we do. And also, it's not the overwhelming majority of people that want this stuff. It's not.
Right. Not even close.
Not even close. And that's just taking into consideration, again, people that voted.
Right.
Not people who were like sitting out for a myriad of reasons. People were making all kinds of wild, saying all kinds of things.
Right. And it's a really, I know there have been pundits, really well-known people like saying like, well, the American people, I mean, I think Jon Stewart might have even said this. I don't know. I apologize if he didn't, but I think he did. Like, this is a lesson that people are going to have to learn the hard way. And it's kind of like, well,
no.
Okay, but like a lot of people already knew the lesson and have already lived through the lesson. And the fact that they have to live through it twice in their lifetime is horrifying. But that's, it is kind of human nature. And it's kind of like, people talk about the waves of feminism and how people are like, this wave of feminism, like we do things differently and here's how we do things differently. But part of doing things differently seems to be forgetting sometimes the useful lessons of the past while also like updating and, and applying things that we've learned in the current day and like using them all together for their strongest. It's often about just throwing away every lesson of the past, like whatever's old is bad or whatever. And like that's, I mean, we literally say like those who don't learn from their mistakes are doomed to repeat them.
Which is, yes.
Right. I would say
sort of where we are.
Those who don't learn from other people's old ass mistakes that happened before you were born are doomed to repeat their mistakes during your own lifetime. And you only have, 100 years if you're lucky. 100 years. And some of these mistakes that we're making are gonna take years to undo. So, like in the present, what can we do? What can we do? And I think that people are like, I don't want to fight my whole life. I don't want to. I don't like and I need to like heal from this last, and I get it. Like people do need to heal. People need to protect their peace. But everything that you're talking about that Shelley does and that you've been doing and that, and I've been doing, it has always been needed, and it will probably always be needed in our entire lifetime.
Yes.
And, whether it's like making sure that kids get picked off of the angel tree at Christmas time, or helping fire victims, or helping women access reproductive care that they desperately need, that funding has been cut, it helping people access educational resources when everyone's doing everything to cut those funds and hide them from people, just all that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't just help the person that it's being done for. It helps you. Right. It helps you who feel hopeless in your chair right now. And like, why did I wake up today? It helps you probably just as much, maybe more than the person that you might be doing it for. So that's really what I'm like hanging on to,
Mm-hmm.
Because also I think that it sounds so woo, but I think that shapes our reality. I think like not giving up shapes our reality.
Of course it does.
Like it's not just clapping for Tinkerbell and being like, I believe she can live or whatever. Like I believe she can live. Like I think it changes. I can't speak to like the science of it and why it changes the reality, but I believe like not giving up and not rolling over. And I'm not saying like I don't think you have to necessarily fight. I'm not saying like get down in the shit pits and like throw punches. I'm saying like help someone get
at this point, I'm not trying to, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not going to lie. Just like in this, you know what I mean? Just like this moment right now.
Sure. I get it.
I'm just not above like punching something right now.
100%. I think I don't think that's wrong if that's, but I'm also saying like there is benefit to being like, hey, do you need help getting a library card? Do you know how to do it? Let me help you do that.
Right.
And like, by the way, here's what you can do with your library card.
New York, anywhere in the country, online.
Yeah, exactly. You can watch movies. You don't have to,
So if you are in a place where books are being banned as a teenager, whatever, you can access books, guys.
Right. And tools, by the way. A lot of libraries have tools. A lot of libraries have everything.
Libraries. Wait, okay. Can we change the subject for 1 second?
Yes, please.
About tools specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You know how... That's so Kate, what I just did. You know how... Okay. You know how, like, sometimes people come to give me a quote for work and they maybe know who I am?
Yeah.
And then I get what I call a movie star prize.
Yeah.
Which is that they don't really understand that I'm not Julia Roberts money.
Right.
They just think like, oh, we're going to just see if we can just tell her that this shelf is going to be $100,000 or whatever if she'll pay it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I'm kind of in that situation right now. And what I want is bookshelves in my bedroom here.
Okay.
In this house. Because I have all my books, and like in Los Angeles, I had huge bookshelves. And at Casa Kismet, I had great bookshelves.
Yeah.
And here, I do not. I just don't. I don't have enough bookshelves here.
Right.
And I think it would look really cool, like having like my TV sort of built, like bookshelves built around the TV in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Which I'm sort of like, why do I even have that TV in my bedroom? But I do. It's fine. It is kind of nice to watch TV while you're laying in bed.
Yeah. It's the best place to watch TV. In my
well,
opinion.
Also because I don't know if I told you this story, but when I moved my bed frame, like the frame itself underneath not the headboard part, but the frame itself got broken. And because of the kind of bed, it was like the bed frame was built into the bed, but it got broken.
Okay.
So I had to like take it out completely. And the kind of bed that it is, they couldn't replace it or something. And so they were like, you just have to buy another one that fits inside of it. And the one that was available immediately, it has a thing where I can like lift up the headboard or the feet.
It's an adjustable bed frame.
Yes.
I've had that since I've had that for years.
Oh my God. It's like such a game changer. It's the most fun.
Yeah. Mine also has massage, but
all right,
all that does is it just makes a lot of noise, if I'm being honest. But I've always had adjustable bed because of like the Ellers, because, of my frail little falling apart body.
Well, same girl, same, but no one turned me on to it. Guys, I'm telling you at home.
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
It's really good.
Anyway, the point is, back to the shelves. So I want to do these like shelves around, I want to do this whole built-in wall kind of thing, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm like, guys, it does not cost that much money to do it. I'm sorry. And so then I was like, I'm so crafty. When am I just going to get into woodworking? Should I just learn? I'm serious. I was like, should I just like rent some fucking power tools and just build this shit myself?
There's workshops in New York City where you can join it's kind of like, the Jane Club or whatever, but for woodworkers, and you can just go and use the tools there and do your woodworking projects.
I didn't know that, but like
it's like your pottery studio. And they have like expert people that'll help you. Like,
right.
Depending on, who you get to know. But yeah, do some woodworking.
I do also love, though, that I'm like, I think I have the time to do this. You know what I mean? Like, who am I kidding?
Well, really you might. I don't know. If you want to do it, you'll make the time to do it. Or if I think it's about like, you have to prioritize. You know what I mean? Like the price, it would cost less if you did it, but it would take time, but you would learn a lot of things and you would feel like a sense of accomplishment. So it might take longer, but on the plus side, it might be exactly, you'll get exactly what you want, maybe, without having to, you know what I mean? Like there's
Brooklyn-based DIY workshop woodworking classes. Wow.
There you go. There, you have to do like a pros and an old-fashioned pros and cons checklist. But it's also, I'm going to just throw this out there, it will also still cost a lot. And especially if you're like a novice and you like miscut a piece of walnut or whatever, then it costs a lot of money. But girl, maybe this is like your Hallmark movie. Maybe you meet someone at the woodworking shop and he comes and helps you build your bookshelves. And you're like, oh my God, this is the best guy I've ever met in my life. He's grown up and knows how to use tools and, has a job. Who knows? That might be, who knows?
Yeah.
It could be,
I don't know.
It could be your Hallmark romance. Or it could not. Maybe you could meet a woman who's a really you know what I mean? And becomes like your woodworking mentor. We just don't know. But I think it'd be kind of fun. And you are crafty.
I am crafty.
You are crafty.
I was texting with my friend and I was like, do you think I could do this? And then he was like, yeah, didn't you make a washing machine once. And I was like, who makes a washing machine? I fixed it during the pandemic.
Oh my
Whatever.
God.
But it made me laugh.
Who thought you
It doesn't matter. It's so stupid.
A washing machine. Oh my God. I mean, listen, I'm encouraging you to do this. And like, I made 3 belts for Christmas and it almost killed me. So, I will also say there is a third way that I personally love, and that is IKEA hacks, semi-custom. Like, I guarantee you, if you look on the IKEA hacks website, somebody's done exactly what you wanted with various pieces of pre-made IKEA stuff.
I'm looking at it right now.
And also you can see my chandelier on there.
Oh, I know. I know. Wait, these are great. This woodworking thing is great, but also it's like, it's just like build a side table.
Yeah.
It's not really like.
Yeah. But you can go there, find the most capable looking person and be like, hey,
let's do it.
Let's do this together. Are you experienced at case goods? And if I put in some sweat equity, how much would it cost me? Like, I've done that before too with building projects and with some success. But also learning like, oh, the price I was quoted wasn't a movie star price. It was actually pretty much in the ballpark.
Yeah, there's no way that this is in the ballpark. I'm just telling you.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, IKEA semi-custom.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, IKEAhackers.net. Woo. Yeah, see, this is like the kind of stuff. I don't know. I just feel like this feels like a lot. This is cool, though. I see. Oh, this is cool. This is a great resource.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, people are also apartment therapy. I don't know if you're like,
I like apartment therapy. It's too chaotic for me. I'm like, this is much more this IKEA thing is much more my.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know
really
people love to
cool.
say like, IKEA is low quality, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I think there are things you can spend a lot of money on, like that are going to become heirloom pieces or whatever. But like, honestly, bookshelves are not, they're going to live where they live. You don't sit on them. You don't sleep on them. You put your books on them. And if you can get it to look nice and it's solid, then it works,
Yeah.
The most useful thing is the thing you can afford to do that works for your purposes, so.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is really great.
Are you good at putting together IKEA things?
Yeah. That's where ADHD sometimes really comes in clutch.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm good at stuff like that, like Legos. I'm good at like following directions and hyper focusing. If I'm like into it, I can like definitely hyper focus.
Yeah.
On a thing.
Yeah.
But IKEA countertop for sliding barn doors. Cool, guys. You're really doing it. IKEA. I love those. I like these. I like these. This is what I'm talking about. But I like, and then I know there are places you can like go get people to cut the wood, the like length that you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you can probably find IKEA pieces that exactly or very nearly match the measurements that you need. And then you just need a handyman to like trim it out for you so that it looks custom, whether that's like putting molding on top of it or like if it's off by like a 1/4 inch because your wall is crooked, like putting a piece of filler. And then you're great at painting. And then Bob's your uncle, as they say. You got your bookshelves.
I fucking can do this. I can do this, you guys. I can do it. Cut to. I can't do it. I really can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I just like had this thought. Okay, I have a media thing up there right now that doesn't quite fit all the way. So I could just use these hacks and keep that piece, not like throw it away and get an IKEA thing and add another box to it basically and then put the top on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the base part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling this vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. so I might be DIYing.
In my house, after we get the kitchen squared away, which is a years-long project, and I need help. I need someone in my family to help me and to be
Finish
on a
it?
timetable to finish it. Yes. But the next thing that I want to do is we don't really have bookshelves either, and we have tons of books. We have one closet in our little den that is so deep, and that's where we have all our books, but it's just like it's so deep. It goes back so far that it's not practical for books. So I want to put a Murphy bookshelf in the front of it so that the shelf isn't so deep, and then it opens up to the space in the back. But then we were talking about like, what is that space in the back? Is it more books? Is it a secret speakeasy? Is it a panic room? Is it that only 2 people could fit in standing very still? But yeah, so that's, if anyone has any ideas of what to do with a super deep closet where you might have a secret space behind 2 Murphy bookshelves that like open up and close, let me know.
What do you need?
We need everything. I mean, we need more storage space and just in general, like mid-century,
what do you
modern
need? I'm just saying, like, whatever you want to like use the space for whatever it is that you need the most. You could put like a little bar back there, but is that really going to be the most useful?
Right. Exactly.
Maybe a little library sitting room. That's cute.
Maybe. I don't know. It is a I don't know. I'll have to send you all pictures so that you know. But yeah, it was funny because we obviously asked everyone in the family what they would use that space for, and it's a real Rorschach test into everyone's personality, what they suggest the dead space behind the bookshelves to be used for.
A game room.
It's not that big. It would literally be like the size of a small closet, you know? So it's like enough.
A small closet?
Yeah, for 2 people to stand in.
No, I'm just saying. Is that what it is?
A small closet? Yeah, pretty much. But then we don't, who knows? If anyone has any novel ideas for what to do, I'm all ears. I'm interested. Because like I always love something cool. Like I love a cool secret behind some bookshelves.
I think that's very cool.
Joan Rivers had secret bookshelves in her penthouse, like Scooby-Doo style, and I loved it. I think it was just a TV
want a
behind
secret
it.
bookshelf.
Right? She just had a TV hiding behind there.
Yes.
Yeah. But listen, the bookshelves are meaningful. Like they, we need them. They make your life better. I think that's a good goal. I think you need to write it down. Like Shelley's goal was to hug you.
How crazy is that?
So crazy, but also like legit.
Totally legit.
She made it come true.
She really did. We made it come true.
I love that.
Rocket money. Rocket money. Listen, I don't know about you. I'm doing everything I can right now to save every bit of money so that I can hit up some people's GoFundMes, like do some other things with that money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. We're all on kind of like a self-imposed austerity program right now just because it's time. It's time to be paying attention to where every dime goes.
Yes, it really is. It really, really is. And it's just a good thing to do always.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I think a lot of us waste a lot of money that we don't even know that we're wasting.
Right. It's like long forgotten, something that you signed up for, some subscription to like a gym or whatever that you signed up for.
And like
in the 90s.
And like, can I be real?
Yeah.
Sometimes they make it really hard to get out of those subscriptions.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't even have it in me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just pay it.
Yeah.
I had a thing that Rocket Money like found, And the whole process for undoing it was going to be so complicated. But you know what? Rocket Money is amazing because they do it for you.
Ugh.
This is what Rocket Money is best at. They pull together your spending from all across your different accounts. You can keep track of your spending habits. You can see where you can cut back. The thing that we're talking about is amazing. They show you all your subscriptions in one place. They cancel the ones you're not using anymore and save you money. If you sign up for something, you forget about it, don't worry about it. They will help you find it, fix it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
85% of people have at least one subscription that they're paying for that they don't use.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've done it. I've signed up for some weird magazine because I wanted to read one stupid article.
Right.
And then I never go back and unsubscribe.
We all have done it. We've all done it.
Well, Rocket Money is your personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending. It helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings, so you can choose whatever you want to do with that money that you're saving. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Guys, think about what you could do with that money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/busy today. That's rocketmoney.com/busy. rocketmoney.com/busy. Euphoria. I love Euphoria so much. I just love it.
Me too.
You listen to this podcast. We love that Euphoria has been supporters of ours literally since almost day one.
Not just of the podcast, but also
our vulvas.
Exactly.
Also our sex lives. And listen, I'm sure both of them, I know mine certainly has had some ups and downs in the last 5 years. You know what I mean?
For real. Whose vulva doesn't go through things in a 5-year span?
Every vulva. Every vulva.
Every vulva, listen up.
Hashtag every vulva does. I haven't even had anything to drink. I just am, guys, this is just me, okay? But we love Euphoria so much, and it's real. It's very real. It's real. They make incredible products like the Awaken Arousal Oil, the sex oil that make you and your partner feel amazing.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, we have no problems there, we're good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Yeah, good for you. Happy for you. And also, who couldn't use a bigger orgasm? Come on.
Yeah.
Light it up,
now,
ladies.
You've earned it. You
find the pleasure where you can get it and have it as much as possible. We all are earning that. Let me tell you, by yourself, with a partner, with many people. I don't care. I have no judgment. But get that oil in there because it is going to feel great. Euphoria uses all natural and plant-based ingredients that intensify sexual pleasure, relieves discomfort. They have a real cult following with tens of thousands of people who have had their sex lives literally transformed. Guys, Euphoria makes products that are going to transform your sexual pleasure. Okay. The Awaken Arousal Oil that uses CBD and warming, sensation-inducing organic botanicals. Actually, I just thought of somebody I have to buy this for. I was having a conversation with someone. I'm not kidding. I do this a lot. I actually buy it for friends and give it to them because I do think, listen, if you're listening and you're like, I don't want to order that, like, don't stop. Enough. We got to take the stigma out of all of these things. Trust me. Order it. Or just literally email Caissie and I'll order it for you. I'm just kidding. No,
you
guys
gotta
order
get
it for
the
yourselves.
Awaken Arousal Oil and the sex oil because they're like, it's the perfect combo. And I agree with you, Busy. Everybody just has to let it go. You just have to let the shame go.
No.
How do you think you got here?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And hopefully it was great, but they didn't have Euphoria back then. So I know that, it wasn't as good as it could be. You have our permission to try it, order it. We fully endorse you to go ahead, treat yourself to more, deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it and as often as possible, especially now. You can start with a bottle of Euphoria. Euphoria is offering a special deal for you, our dear listener. Get 20% off your first order by visiting foriawellness.com/best or use code BEST at the checkout. That's FORIA wellness.com/best for 20% off your first order. We recommend that Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil, and you are going to thank us. Do you want to ask me what I'm doing my best at, though?
Yeah, sure. What are you doing your best at this week?
Guess what I did?
What?
I finished my fucking pilot and turned it in.
That's amazing. Congrats.
I know. I'm so excited.
Wow.
And honestly, guys, I think it's really good. I think it's
love that.
really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
that's a huge accomplishment.
Productive.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Listen, it's taken me a beat to like get back to trying to be a person. It's been a lot happening.
Right. Yeah.
A lot has been going on.
Yeah.
Just everywhere for everybody.
Yeah. Which is comforting and also distressing, but it's comforting to know that you're not alone.
You are not alone. Truly, no one is alone. So that was very exciting. I had like a lot of stuff that my mom was like, "Do people pay you to do these things, Busy?" And I was like moderating for people, I was like,
yeah,
no, they don't.
Oh my gosh.
They don't, Mom. Thanks, though. I do them because I want to. But it also then requires me to like do work, which is like fun.
Yeah.
But can be stressful.
Yeah.
And I got all my work done. And I forgot that I agreed. I forgot that I agreed to do the like American Heart Association annual like red dress fashion show fundraiser thing. Do you know what that is? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the red dress. Yeah.
So I'm doing it because Sarah is performing this year.
Amazing.
I know. And it's this week. And and I a little bit was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this, but I can do this. I can do this.
You always do.
I know. Just as a lot. I have a lot going on this weekend. Mark is out of town and Birdie's coming back on the weekend. She has like a long ski weekend. I mean, so many fucking ski weekends.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of ski and sports weeks. I feel
sport week. She has sport week.
But that's good.
But no, I know. I'm super excited to see her.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the kids to see maybe Happy Ending, Darren Chris's musical that I saw a couple weeks ago, and I just think they would love it.
Oh, nice.
It's really good.
That is exciting.
And I just think I want them to see it.
Aw.
Yeah.
And you're pals with Darren Chris.
I'm pals with Darren. I saw him after the show and chatted. Oh, remember I told you this? And the other guy in the show had been on Cougar Town.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so tell me what you're doing your best at. What's happening?
What's happening? Well, I think that I successfully staved off gallbladder surgery, even though so many people sent me suggestions and were so kind and caring about my tragic gallbladder situation last week, which was so nice. And even some medical professionals reached out, which I appreciated that, knowing like my fear of just anything medical in general in some ways, which is good because my husband has to have surgery next week. And so I really wasn't, I didn't say this last week, but like I just didn't I was joking around that I didn't want to steal his surgery thunder. But he is having like a pretty serious surgery next
What's
week
happening?
that has a really long recovery time.
Is this the hernia?
Yeah.
Hernia?
He has 2 hernias. So he has to get them both fixed. And it's like, it's not like it's common, you know, to get a hernia surgery. Matt, I hope you don't mind that we're talking about your hernia, but, your multiple hernias, but it's just because it's like your abdomen, it really like takes you out. So he has to recover for like 4 to 6 weeks. We don't even know yet.
No, of course. Yeah. I should have gotten my tummy tuck, and then he and I could have been together.
You could have recovered together. So I really just didn't want to be in a situation where I was getting like abdominal surgery followed by him getting abdominal surgery followed by
albeit I will say that the gallbladder surgery recovery is, I think, a little bit easier than what he's going to go through.
100%.
Because I think they just arthroscopically pull that shit out of you.
Yeah, they do sometimes, and then sometimes if it's like too bad, they do something called open gallbladder surgery if they can't do it arthroscopically, I guess, but who knows? I'm not a fucking gallbladder expert, but I will say that people suggested like some supplements and stuff.
Dude, I'm a fan of like try anything. Why not?
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm always a fan of like read a study on it, which is why it's alarming that the National Institute of Health has halted all work for the United States, and that we are no longer working with the World Health Organization. But I will say this, the first thing I do is like go read a study, and that's one of my passions. I think like if I hadn't had gotten involved in working in television, I probably would have been a research scientist maybe. And so I really do love reading studies, and I love learning about how to read into the study about like, is it peer reviewed? Has it been trialed on humans? And like, what's the timeline? And I love learning about like when someone has a hypothesis about something that could work, and then it turns out that it doesn't work, and you know, and how we try everything on mice before we try it on whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'll say is like when people were recommending these supplements to me, I went straight to like reading studies about them, and there's some interesting stuff out there. And I don't think in this country, I think that automatically they say like, get your gallbladder out. And that probably is, you know, not bad advice or whatever, but I think they take a more conservative approach in other places and try to not automatically take people's gallbladders out. So I got some supplements that I'm taking, and I do feel a great deal better, not 100% better, because as you know, like if you have a crappy gallbladder, like it has like little flares and little like spasms and stuff, and it feels like if you've ever been pregnant and you know what it feels like to get like kicked by your baby or for your baby to move around, it's almost like a small devil baby in the side of your stomach.
I don't like that.
You know,
I don't like the sound of that.
A sour, rotten baby, like just twirling around because you ate a piece of bread or whatever. But so anyway, I think it's interesting. And just so you know, because I know there will be people that are like, God damn it, go get your gallbladder out. I totally understand. I'm watching for fever. I'm making sure my skin's not yellow. I'm making sure my eyeballs are not yellow. It's fine. And if I truly was like in terrible pain, then I would definitely go immediately and get my gallbladder out and recover with my husband for 6 weeks or however.
Right.
I'd be up kind of fun. Then, but
you should just ask Emily and go see her doctor that she went to.
I know, yeah. Nursing like a crappy gallbladder, and it's not very glamorous.
But like
not very exciting.
But I'm not trying to be an asshole, but then you kind of don't know that it's your gallbladder.
I know it is. I definitely.
Oh, you've had like gallbladder attacks before?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't understand that, I guess. I thought that this was like a first time.
No, it's not my first rodeo with my gallbladder.
Not your first
and also like my mom.
Rodeo.
Yeah, but
not your first gallbladder rodeo.
But yeah, so everything's like going good, and I'm judiciously taking some supplements that like aid with digestion and like help with emptying out your gallbladder. And,
yes.
Just trying to
I have people that like are very big believers in that for gallbladder specifically.
Yeah. And I 100% believe in science. I 100% believe in Western medicine, but I also believe that there are other options if you're not in an emergency life or death situation, and that a lot of those work too, and that sometimes they can work together, and the object is just finding what can work for you. And if I wasn't feeling better, I 100% would be on like an operating table right this second. But
totally,
I am feeling much, much better. And like to the point where I think I almost had like euphoria, like weirdly. And I realized it was because like my stomach wasn't hurting, and it had been like a while since my stomach wasn't hurting. And so I felt giddy, like I was on a roller coaster kind of.
I remember
like
when Emily was so sick. It was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. It's miserable. It's like, it's a real fuck you. And I don't think our organs should turn against us like that. It's very rude of them. And I don't like it. I don't want to talk bad about my gallbladder because it's still in me, and I don't want it to get mad at me and like pitch a fit or whatever.
No,
but
you should tell it to shape up.
Yeah.
Shape up or ship out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's kind of,
that's what I say.
Not to be repetitious, what I'm doing my best at 2 weeks in a row. And I hate that like 2 Tuesdays of my life have been devoted to thinking about my stupid gallbladder. But
man, it happens.
There you go. Yeah. And then, just getting ready for Matt to have surgery. And that should be hilarious because that is a guy who cannot sit down. And so I really look forward to
forcing him to.
Yeah. I don't see how it's going to happen. It's going to be hilarious. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, he has to. That's the thing. He's going to just have to.
Well, it's like telling you to sit down though,
I think if I had major stomach surgery, I would be like, okay, I'm good. You guys, I'm good.
I don't know. I've seen you I've seen you in pretty rough shape and you're still like, I gotta get out of here.
Well, that is true. I do that. But I'm just, but I don't know. I think at least I think the issue becomes when he starts to feel a little bit, I think the first week he'll be down for you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but once he starts to feel a little better, the trick will be making sure he doesn't push it.
Right. And I'll like turn around and then he'll be like on top of a ladder or something.
Right. He just needs to know that if he pushes it, he might end up worse. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah. It's true. You heard it, Matt, if you're listening.
You heard it, Matt.
Don't push it.
You heard it here.
That's it. That's the big update on my life.
All right. Well, listen, I have to run because I got to go get the kid and have it's a lot. It's a lot today. It's a lot. It's always a lot. It's going to be a lot. It's fine. But guys, I hope that you're all taking care of yourselves out there in all the ways that you can take care of yourself. Selves.
By the way, Paul F. Tompkins never wrote back about what his word for person that connects persons together. So it's a cliffhanger. We might have to revisit it next
week. If any of you have a word that you want to come up with, feel free. Throw it out there. I'm open. I'm open for a new word. Let's create a word.
Who says we can't?
He's our
hub.
He's our hub, but that's like sounds like a husband. He's our our friennector. Our friennector. He's our friennector. He's our friennector. He's our friennector friend. He's our friennector. A friennector. What about a friennector?
I like it.
I like friennector. Okay.
All right. Have a great week, you guys. We'll talk to you next week. We love you. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up. We got this. We got you. You got us. We got each other. We got people we don't know. We might got people we don't like. I don't know. I'm just saying we got it. We're going to get it. Let's get it. We got it. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.